Now is the Deputy Public Defender for Los Angeles County, Philip Dube. Philip, great to see you again. Thanks for being on the show. We got this issue of missing tapes. Look, this is no, Kennedy assassination or anything, but I think the defense is doing a very effective job of raising the specter of this maybe reeks of something not right with the state's case.
Well, I got to tell you, I have a lot of mixed thoughts about this. First of all, defense counsel in his opening statement talked about what Mr. Edgecombe was doing while he was on the lam after this offense, and that is he was looking for counsel, that he had gone to see several lawyers. And I got to tell you, Michael, defense lawyers are just as capable as prosecutors and detectives of going out and canvassing and looking for poll footage. And the defense had the exact same capability as the government did in finding any footage that could exonerate him. And you would think that during the course of all of those consults, somebody would have gone out to the scene or recommended to Mr. Edgecombe that they try to meet with the owners of these buildings or whoever the government agency is that manages the poll cameras to try to preserve the footage. You got to keep in mind the government had no way of knowing at the time that a claim of self-defense was going to be asserted once the killer was apprehended. Because remember, the killer was not apprehended immediately. A lot of time went by. So in my opinion, it's a tempest in a teapot.
That may be true, and I don't necessarily agree with what you're saying there, Philip. I think at the end of the day, we don't know when the defense attorneys became involved in the case, and it is incumbent upon the state because they had a murder on their hands. Whether they had the guy or not, they will be the ones to go out and want to get all the proper evidence in the case. They're the ones with the power to do that more so than the defense attorney. And again, like I said, we don't know when he became attached to the case. So just to say that. But we had some important witnesses on the stand, eyewitnesses, important state witnesses. They gave a little, gave a little, take away a little. Whether the actual victim was running, jogging, or walking purposefully, all those terms came up today. We have a tape, so I'm not sure how important it is. But what do you make of the differences in what this actual victim was doing? Was he running? Was he jogging? Was he walking with purpose? How important is that?
Listen, at the end of the day, if somebody is walking briskly toward me and you don't see a weapon in their hands, at most you might be able to expect a kick, a punch, an elbow, but do you get to pull out a gun and blast them in the face? That's an excessive use of force. And coupled with the fact that Mr. Edgecombe, by all accounts, was the provocateur. He was the one who punched or sucker punched Mr. Clearman before the homicide. Now, I could see if Mr. Edgecombe was asserting that the car was the weapon, the deadly weapon that was coming after him, for which he felt a lethal response was necessary. But if that were the case, you'd think he'd be firing at the car trying to kill Mrs. Clearman. But to go after him, you cannot impute the need to use self-defense to all occupants of a vehicle. It attaches to the very person who's causing you to be put in that type of sustained fear for your life. So I think his fear and his response is misplaced.
Fair enough, and I think that's certainly an issue for the defense, and I thought they did a pretty good job in their opening statement of making the suggestion that the attack or his feelings are going to stem from actually the way the car went after him. Then the guy jumps out and starts running after him. It's all part of it. So yes, I think there is an attempt by the defense to suggest the car was part and parcel of the thinking of the defendant in making a decision to respond with deadly force. But again, we'll have to see how that plays out in court. Philip Dube, stand by. We're going to take a break right now. Coming up.